Life Update 2, Abhiram Chaganti. It is currently 5:25 p.m. and I am parked basically outside of my house. The last video was an introduction video, so it went a little long, but I'm going to try to keep these videos from now on to about 15 minutes or less. To those that are new, this is my channel where I talk about weekly updates. So I make a video every week that just talks about the week prior and how everything's going, how my life is developing. The rhetoric here is, of course, my audience that follows me, and I'm making these videos for my future kids because I know one day they will see them, and it's going to be cool to see how their dad kind of went about life more closely. You know what I mean? It's one thing to tell stories, and it's another thing to see it actually acted out play by play, the good and the bad, and the ugly, all that. So in the past week, there's been some developments, right? Of course, I'm still trying to sell my hoodies. I'm still making all this music stuff. But the theme of this video is environment, because environment does a lot for how you act. And consider, right, I'm in college. So I'm, throughout the year, working in two different environments. It's my college environment and home environment. Now, home to me, this home in Illinois, is comfort. And it's very, very hard to reestablish new terms for the environment you're in. In other words, if an environment already has some characteristics in your mind, it's very hard to break those characteristics and create new ones. You know what I mean? And so when I was a teenager and growing up here, I spent a lot of time doing a lot of dumb stuff, you know, just goofing around, like smoking weed and shit. You know, just being your average teenager. And when I come back home, I'd be lying if I said that being back home doesn't trigger those feelings over again. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot of willpower to fight that, which is something I'm facing each and every day. And it's a battle, right? Because every day when you choose the path of self-development, you have to wake up in the mirror and look in the mirror and decide the person you want to be. Even someone that was born a procrastinator, or I should say, even someone that has procrastinated their whole life and changed for the better, even someone that was an addict their whole life and changed for the better, they got sober, they still have to wake up and look in the mirror and decide that they're going to continue being that person, because they don't have the luxury of doing those hedonistic things for fun anymore, because they've ingrained it so much to an addiction point that they just don't have that luxury. You feel me? They have to willfully choose the better person each and every day. And that's something with this whole environment thing. It influences, right, your character a lot. And one of the parts of my character especially is my leadership. So in the things that I'm involved in and things I've done in the past, it's always required me to have like 3 to 4 guys that I'm trying to bring with me to achieve the product that I'm looking for, whether it be an album I'm making, a song I'm making, a video I'm trying to make, clothes I'm trying to come out with. There's always a few guys that I bring with me to help the vision come to life. And with that duty comes being a leader, right? So like, one of the things I'm navigating through, and I have been for the past few years of my life, is like, what does it mean to be a great leader? How do you lead effectively? And things like that. And what I'm realizing is that people know what's at stake. People know what it takes to be great. A lot of people have that understanding down packed. And really, the reason why you need a leader is to have something tangible in front of you to show you that someone at your level can get it done, right? Because it's easy to see on social media, right, someone making their brand and doing a bunch of cool stuff that someone would wish they would want to do. And it's easy to think like, okay, it just takes work to get there. I can do that too. But there's still a mental block barrier in the mind that's like, I'm still not believing it. I'm still not believing that someone like me could do it. Because at the end of the day, these people on social media, right, you don't know what they've been through. And as a comforting thing, you'll tell yourself, you might project, assumptions on them that aren't necessarily true. Maybe you'll think they probably came from money, they probably had this connection to get that job, whatever, right? But you don't really know for sure. So that's why there's a mental block of like, I need something else to make me believe that this can actually be done from my situation. And that's why you need a leader, because when you lead by example and you show it can be done, then you get a lot more investment from your team. And that's one thing I'm trying to, I've been thinking about more this past week, is like leading by example for sure. When I tell my team we're posting 3, 4 times, 5 times a day, I make sure I'm doing that first. When I say we're posting about the clothes each and every day, I make sure I do that first. And here's the converse, right? Because there's days where I don't even hold up my end of the bargain. Maybe I post like 5 TikToks just about philosophy content, but I don't get any content out about music and clothes. Then I'm still not holding up my end of the bargain, because, you know what I'm saying? Each and every vehicle takes that treatment. And along that topic of social media, another topic I wanted to talk about was this impending TikTok ban. Now, at the time of this video, it's January 12th, so the TikTok ban is supposed to take place on the 19th. Now, we don't know for sure if this is another boy who cried wolf situation and it won't actually get banned, because it's been said before. But all the stories are kind of pointing towards it, so at the very least, it's good to be prepared, right? My thoughts on this ban are, there's a lot. Well, first let's look at the climate given this ban happening. There's a lot of creators that are under stress, understandably. You know, there's millions of people that make a living off of TikTok. They they pay their bills with TikTok. So it makes sense that people are under stress. Now, if you ask me, as someone that's built, I would say, a good platform so far, still a rolling platform, but a good one, 9,500 followers, I would tell you that, yeah, it's disappointing, but it's definitely not the end of the world. And this is a lesson that nothing is the end of the world as long as you're breathing. Dude, one of my friends had texted me saying, you know, what are you gonna do now that you can't promote on TikTok? You're gonna lose some of your community. Now, while that's true, I'm still the same guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still the same guy that is making that same content. Now it's just about bringing those ideas to wherever the people are. You know, presenting in front of or I guess you could say fishing in the biggest pond. You know, because I just don't enjoy that mindset of the victim mindset of, oh, my environment, you're going to give all the credit to your success to your environment. Now, TikTok being a platform is a great thing, don't get me wrong, but you should always stand to give credit to yourself for getting it to that point, right? In my case, it's like, I don't give TikTok all the credit for getting me 9,500 followers. I give myself the credit for having ideas that people resonate with. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is to the kids, and this is to, you know, my followers. Guys, there are going to be things that happen in your life that are the end of the world. But one thing that feel like the end of the world, but one thing I'm always saying is, like, life is so long, right? And the adversity you face accentuates the good things that you'll have happen to you. If everything that happens to you is good and it's comfortable, then you don't really feel the satisfaction as much. You know, this makes sense, because you need to feel the tension to feel the relief, or greater relief. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. Like, there's gonna be times where, like, a girl breaks up with you, and or you lose a job or something. But you always have to remember that in the face of those challenging situations, you've inevitably grown. Like, growth is so guaranteed in failure. It doesn't matter what it is or how badly you view the loss. A loss is a lesson, not a loss. You know what I mean? So never look at things like the end of the world, no matter how big it seems. It's really not. You have 70 years here, and you're gonna go through every emotion. And as a student of life, you should actually try to seek to feel every single thing. And one of these things is stress and back against the wall. You know what I'm saying? So I also wrote down a couple other things I want to talk about. Like I said, I don't want to make this too long, but this is gonna be off topic, but learn poker, okay? That's the thing I'm gonna end up. This is the last thought I'm gonna give in this video. But so I learned poker this new year. 2025 is my debut of poker. And I've never enjoyed a game so much. Now, don't think of this as me in my infancy stages of gambling. I've never, my dad always tells me, fast money isn't real money. He says something along the lines of that. You know what I mean? Like if the proposal is guaranteeing you fast money, then don't think of it as a vehicle that you should be investing a lot into. Like, you gotta look for, what is the word? I believe it's asymmetric risk. I think so, or symmetric risk. I'm not concerned about the politics of it, but basically the idea is you wanna look for things where the risk is even and the gains are even as well. You don't wanna look for something that's like, the risk is so high and the chance for return is like all over the place. It's more ambiguous. You know what I mean? So how does this relate to poker? You know me, right? I'm gonna tell y'all, your mind is so powerful. And I always think you should be trying to look for things that sharpen your mind. And I think poker is one of those things because, like, there's so many intricacies of the game, and I'm so fond of the game for this reason, in the way that the behavior of the way someone feels about the hand they were given by complete luck, that's going to influence how you go about your hand as well. And if you think about it, life is poker. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's not just about how much I love the game. That is one thing, but life is poker. Because people are constantly putting up a bluff. People are constantly putting up exactly what they're worth. And that is going to influence, if you let it, that's going to influence how you go about your life. If people are representing a huge hand that they have, that they really don't, that's going to influence your life. And the way that works is like, if someone is posting a lot on social media about how good they're living, you could let that influence you. You know what I mean? You could. And you have to decide if you're going to let it be like a bad influence or a good influence. Are you going to call or are you going to fold? You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys get what I'm saying here. You have to look at things in the world with a grain of salt. And that's what I'm getting from in poker is like, believe, what do they say? Believe half of what you see and nothing you hear. That's kind of what you have to consider. And it's related to poker in a lot of ways. In the world, people are going to be putting up fronts all the time. And that's going to influence the way you view your own life. Because obviously you're going to look at your life from the realist perspective because you're looking at it. Now, that's where your consciousness and your awareness of the world has to be applied to your view of your own life. Because, like I said, people are going to put up a front and you're going to think you're not living as good of a life. But those people are going through the exact same thing. You can never assume what someone's going through based off the internet or what they tell you, okay? And as an extension of that thought, you always should give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna always say this. These videos are for my kids, right? So I have to give these lessons. It's like, never think you know what someone's going through, and always act kinder than you feel. That's a quote that really stuck with me, right? Because you might be feeling like shit, but act better, like treat people better than how you feel yourself. And that will take you a long way. One thing I'm really proud of myself about is like nothing I've done material wise or anything, but I can confidently say I treat people really well. And even if they don't like me or they don't like the things I do or they want to criticize the things I do, that's okay, because I know in myself, and you'll feel a lot better about life and you won't care a lot more about opinion once you realize that you're just a student of life and you're here to treat everyone with respect. You're here to spread love, and you'll get that shit 10 times back. And nothing will faze you when you like fully actually embrace being a loving person and treating people better than how you feel. So again, how that relates to poker is like, don't believe in the comparisons. Don't compare at all. In poker, I guess sometimes you have to compare, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? People could be bluffing. That's the idea. So yeah, environment change. Don't let it, or I guess I should say before I go on this, this is like the TLDR, sum it up. Leadership is important, and you have to lead by example, because people need leaders that are close to them, not far away and behind a screen. Environment influences a lot of your actions, so you have to take that into consideration when, say, for example, for me, like, one of the decisions I have to make is, do I want to work or do I want to stay home? And I know one of the things I have to consider, a trade-off of staying home, is while I can work tirelessly on my passions, I also have to face the reality that it's going to be incredibly hard to stay focused. And nothing is the end of the world. Nothing, bro. No matter how bad you think it is, nothing is really the end of the world. And just treat people nicely. You never know what someone's going through for real. So remember, comparison's the thief of joy. And just treat people nicely. Guys, that's all for this video. And with that being said, Abhiram Chaganty out.